Well, welcome to Starlog, episode 1.
Here we are.
Non-testing. My name's Berkan.
I'm Michael Lee. This is what we do now.
This is a thing now. This is a weekly thing. My wife just kind of has to deal with an abundance of Michael in her life now.
I'm really excited to do this with you. We've done an episode of a podcast before. You had like a solo podcast on your Big Screen Bearcon channel, and I came on as a guest one time, and I thought we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I tried. For those who don't know, I am Big Screen Bearcon. That is my.
You're a Big Screen Bearcon?
Oh crap!
Dude,
No,
all over social media.
That's
man.
not
I'm
me.
a huge fan.
That's not me. Making me blush. I mean, I'm talking about me being Big Screen Bearcon when you are Michael the Baddie Lee.
I haven't done a single thing in my life. But
please. Anyway, yeah, we did try, and it was more just kind of me figuring out how to do things.
Right, and we've done a lot of that ourselves, actually, setting up this podcast. As you can see, we've got some equipment going on.
Yeah, I think we may or may not have a test episode out. You just have to hit subscribe and go check it out yourself.
We filmed an episode here using some of this equipment, but we had a lot of technical difficulties. The audio wasn't really where we wanted it. The video kept getting interrupted. So we're not sure if we're going to release the whole thing or not, but...
Yeah, I think some shape or form of it is going to be out there, though.
Yeah, some of it already is out there.
Yeah, that's true. I ruined Deadpool 3 for Michael.
Yeah,
he had no idea that
Deadpool
Hugh Jackman was Wolverine. He was returning as Wolverine.
Speaking of which, I think it might be important to say off the bat while we're introducing this podcast that I think the idea of this podcast is going to be sort of like a pop culture, like movies, TV show. Am I wrong? I think we're going to be talking about a lot of what's going on today, but we'll also be doing some of like me and Bearcon riffing. We'll do little segments of us like playing some games with each other, maybe yeah.
And
Am I missing anything?
That was really descriptive there, Michael. You really seem like you know what you're doing.
I feel like I'm forgetting something.
It's the pop culture stuff, but also it is kind of that day in the life, kind of like we put in our tagline. You're still kind of hanging out with Michael and I. I think that's the gist.
Oh, and we're gonna be figuring this out as we go.
Yeah,
that's something I was.
It's like we're figuring everything out. It's fun.
We've been learning a lot of stuff today.
We had a lot of eureka moments.
Yeah,
it was really, really clutch.
Messing with the software and the gains on the microphone and the outputs on our headsets.
Who figured it out, Michael?
Bearcon really helped.
Yeah, how'd I help? Did I figure it all out?
You figured a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, did I save the day?
If we're making it a competition, I'd say that you won the day.
Do it.
I'd say
do it. Say it. Man, Michael, we've been best friends for a very long time, so this is a very, very special thing for me. But I do have some questions for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. What gives you the right to eat your fries before you eat your course?
You literally learned about this yesterday.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about it for 24 hours now. What gives you the right?
I feel like anyone who doesn't eat their fries first is wasting the potential of those fries.
What are the fries called? What are they called?
What are they called?
Yeah, like what is the group?
French fries?
Called? No. What group are they called?
They're potatoes.
They're sides. They are sides.
So what?
So when you go to a restaurant, what do you order before your main meal?
Appetizers?
Yeah, you order an appetizer. So the French fry is not classified as an appetizer. It's classified as a side, meaning it's on the side. If you're eating it before you eat your burger, you are prioritizing your fries over your burger.
This is classic main course propaganda that they've peddled to you since you were a child. All right, break the mold. All right, think for yourself. Eat your French fries first.
You're paying $5 for the burger, $1.50 for the French fries.
Yes.
Why do you care if your fries are warm but not your burger? That makes no sense.
The burger's gonna stay good. The burger's gonna stay good no matter what the temperature is. As long as it's not ice cold. As long as you're not pulling it out of a fridge.
Okay, so why do you think
the French fries are only good while they're hot? The French fries are no good lukewarm. They're no good. And you especially can't reheat a French fry. You have to eat the French fries first.
I would accept if you put some fries in your buns, like underneath the buns, and ate it at the same time. I would respect that. You take a couple bites of French fries here. You take a bite of your burger here. Done. Easy. But eating all your entire large order of fries before the burger just seems like a waste. It feels like you're diminishing the value of your burger.
Welcome to Starlog.
Welcome to Starlog episode 1. But you are diminishing the value of your burger. You're choosing.
I disagree. I think I'm increasing the value of my fries.
Shut up, Michael. You're left-handed.
I think we should move on before I get really mad.
Man, fine. We'll move on. Have you been enjoying Secret Invasion?
I've only seen one episode of Secret
Have
Invasion.
you enjoyed said episode? I haven't heard your thoughts yet.
That's true. We haven't talked about it yet. So Secret Invasion is the new Marvel show with Samuel
You had
L.
no
Jackson
idea it
as
was
Nick
out.
Fury. I had no idea. I never know when anything's coming out until you tell me.
Yeah, I had to call Michael the day before, be like, "Hey, Secret Invasion comes out tomorrow."
And I said, "What's that?" You said, "Get on Disney Plus and go watch Secret Invasion." So I saw the first episode of it, and I thought I liked it. It was good. I'm not hooked yet, but
Did you like the ending
first
of the episode?
Yeah. And this is a spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, watch the first episode of Secret Invasion and then watch this. But we'll probably be talking about it for the next minute, so skip 60 seconds if you don't want spoilers. But
The clock starts now.
yeah, but when Agent Hope died, that's her name, right? Or,
Nope.
What's
Maria
her name?
Hill.
Maria Hill. Oh, I'm thinking of
You're
Ant-Man.
thinking of- Yeah.
Okay, when Hill died, I knew that she was in stuff. I knew she was in Avengers. I knew that she had died at the end of Infinity War, but in my mind I'm always thinking she's always a background character. She's never front and center actually doing something. So when she died, I was sort of what has she done in this series? In the series as in the entirety of the MCU, what has she actually done?
I mean, she's been Fury's right-hand person.
Exactly, but she's just sort of been there.
I'll give you this though. Everybody was saying how they were excited to actually see Hill's development, and even her, the actress, I can't remember her name.
Yeah. She was also in How I Met Your Mother.
An amazing actress. I do love her work. I just cannot remember her name for the life of me. Of course, I'll remember it as soon as we click end podcast.
Yeah.
But she even herself was saying how she's excited to explore Maria Hill, and 75% of this first episode, I was like, yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing the steps. I'm seeing that we're starting to get to that point where we are going to explore her just a little bit more, and then
First episode
Goodbye.
gone.
But do you know what? Do you know why I was really proud of that decision?
What? Why?
Because I felt like Marvel with Secret Invasion just jumped right in. They took out the fluff. They took out the setup. They're just if you're watching this, you already know. And they jumped right into the story, and they're making bold decisions now. They're not doing that thing they've done where they've, killed somebody and then took it right back.
Like Loki.
Like Loki, like Thor Love and Thunder. They killed, what's the Rock character's name? It's it's super obvious, but Zeus demolishes him with his lightning bolt, and you think he's dead.
And he's like, nope, I'm still ahead.
He's like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I can't do accents.
Yeah, with his New Zealand accent, yeah.
Yeah, they do that.
They
all
do
the
that all
time.
the time. Famously for Infinity War, they killed half the cast. Maybe more, and then they.
Yeah, but that one you knew.
Back.
That one there was no moments.
Yeah,
where
we were
you're
wait, we know Black Panther 2 is coming out. We know that the new
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man's coming out.
come on.
There's no way.
Yeah, but yeah, so I was proud of Marvel for taking bold steps. I think you haven't seen episode 2 or 3 yet, but right now, 3 episodes in, I think Secret Invasion is not only on track to be the best Disney Plus MCU show, but it's also probably on track to be one of the top projects in the MCU in general.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really proud of their choices and their lack of fluff. It's the first time I've ever been okay with the 6-episode format.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's speaking a lot from you, because every show
I famously hate 6-episode
exactly
format.
Every single one that's come out, you were like, I really like this show, but I either wish it was longer or I wish that they had cut stuff and just made it a movie. Even with Obi-Wan, you said that Kenobi, sorry.
I just finished his name.
You liked Kenobi, but you didn't like the 6-episode format.
No, I hated the 6-episode format. I felt like it did nothing for it. I think it made it in Kenobi's case, it made it drag on longer than it needed to be. I would have been okay with maybe a 4-part limited series instead of the 6-episode, because even that's a 2-episode difference. It's still 2 episodes worth of fluff. There's someone out there, I can't remember his name, but a lot of this episode, I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
But there's someone out there, he's a mega fan. He took the entire Kenobi series, he edited it down, he took out all the fluff, he created a 2.5-hour movie, rearranged the order of some events from the series, and he created a 2.5-hour movie, and Kenobi is kind of on that level of The Last Jedi and The Phantom Menace and, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, where people don't like it. They don't like it. Maybe in 10, 15 years, they will appreciate it.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, that's how it works
happened with the prequels.
That's how it's going to work with Star Wars. That's just how it is. But maybe in 15 years, people will like it. But his version, his re-edited version, people immediately are like, oh, yeah, this is so much better. This is so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So it's just the little things like that. So it shows need to either be longer and take your time and tell the story and develop your characters. Mm-hmm. And that way you don't have to rush the last 2 episodes, because that's the problem that Marvel's been doing. It's not that they haven't been establishing. They've been establishing their characters and the world, but then it's unbelievable when the massive, conflict is resolved in like an episode. It just doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
And it feels rushed and just contained.
I agree with you. I feel like if they, and this probably isn't really true because I did enjoy some of the shows, but I feel like if they don't want to make a subpar movie, they'll just make it. They'll give it a little bit extra fluff, and they'll just make it a 6-episode show.
Do you think Marvel's overproducing?
Yeah, probably. Because also, I didn't know Secret Invasion was coming out. I didn't finish She-Hulk.
You never finished She-Hulk?
I didn't watch a lot of stuff for a long time. Like I didn't watch the What If show for a long time until you told me before Doctor Strange that we had to watch it. I didn't enjoy Doctor Strange.
Multiverse Madness is terrible.
And I feel like a lot of people don't like a lot of the Phase 4 stuff.
The more I watch it, the more I hate it.
Yeah, people famously didn't like the new Ant-Man. I think that if you're gonna... Yes, they're overproducing because I think if they slowed down, it really took their time with each of these projects, they could make something really good. Like, look at Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
5 years.
It took them 5 years, and people loved it.
Yeah. Is it still your favorite movie?
It could be my favorite movie of all time.
You need to watch it again.
Iron Giant has been my favorite movie of all time.
Ever since I've known you, Iron Giant.
Since I was a child. And nothing's ever topped it in my opinion. But Across the Spider-Verse might be my new favorite movie.
Wow. I mean, I think so. Going back a little bit to that Marvel thing of them overproducing, the way I think about it, I thought about this the other week. It's kind of like, how many Marvel comic books do you think are out there?
What? Like tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, right?
Probably.
So you can like jump in at any point, pick up a storyline.
I've never read comics, so I guess.
Right, but if you wanted to, you could pick a story because you're not gonna like read the whole thing.
You're not gonna start from the beginning.
I mean, you could, but that's gonna take you a long time. Which some people would enjoy that.
And you can't really do that for the MCU.
Well, here's the thing. They're producing so much. I feel like in 20 years, it is going to kind of feel like that, where you can just pick a point that interests you, and then you can expand. So you have all this content. It's becoming like its own comic book catalog, comic book collection, where, yes, there's some things that connect. You have to follow the storylines of, like, the phases, but it's almost starting to feel like you can... Where I walk into a comic book shop and be like, I'm feeling Miss Marvel today. I'm feeling She-Hulk today.
I haven't seen Miss Marvel yet.
Oh, yeah. I feel like you might like Miss Marvel. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it fits your vibe.
Yeah, it's been recommended to me before, but I haven't seen it.
We'll watch it before November because Miss Marvel's is coming out in November, and you're gonna need that.
I also saw the new Superman show. I saw the first episode of the new Superman show.
Did you enjoy it? My Adventures with Superman.
My Adventures with Superman. Yeah. I did like it. It feels like a more family friendly Invincible. Like the powers, the animation style.
Mm-hmm.
It's
giving
Invincible.
Do you feel like it's like an anime? Because I think that's the vibe it's supposed to be.
There's some obvious like anime inspiration. But it's not quite. I know you don't watch anime.
No, that's why that's why I was asking, because I don't know if that's like landing.
There's some inspiration there, definitely, but it's definitely more of an American cartoon than anime. Like Avatar felt like an anime, and like people will say Avatar is their favorite anime, but the Superman show feels more like Invincible.
See, I felt like it felt more like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
There you go.
That's what I felt like.
It definitely feels like an American anime versus like an actual one.
I liked it though. I thought, I never really cared about Superman that much. Like I watch Superman movies, but I'm not like a crazy like Superman fanatic. I don't have Superman like memorabilia and stuff like that. Like I like the character, but it just hasn't been too consistent in my life.
Yeah.
Unlike Spider-Man, who it's like I would like die for.
Every couple of years they're coming out with like a new movie for Spider-Man.
A new something. There's always
a new company's coming out with a new movie for Spider-Man.
It's been consistent
They're
since I was like 4.
Yeah.
So it's a constant in my life.
Is in even like the animated shows on like Disney, like when you were kids and stuff.
Yeah, and so Superman's getting like it's starting to kind of like get there. We're getting Superman Legacy, which just got cast.
I don't know what that is.
Superman Legacy?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
who James Gunn is.
You tell me everything about.
All right, okay, Michael. Let me update you on the world.
You've always told me everything that.
Let me update you on the world of DC because you don't know.
I don't know a single. I've seen like 2 DC movies, and it's Suicide Squad, and then Wonder Woman. I saw Wonder Woman.
Okay, so DC is being rebooted like completely. They're starting over essentially. So it's starting. James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. He's
the head of it all, so he's kind of creating this.
Really? Like he's like Kevin Feige, but like
he's essentially Kevin Feige for DC now, and so he is him and Peter Safran. They're kind of creating their own slate. They're phase 1, and in that phase there's a new Batman movie, Batman Brave and the Bold.
Is it still Ben Affleck?
No. It's gonna be new Batman. And
Is
it's
it
not
Robert Pattinson?
It's not Robert Pattinson. That's what I thought they were gonna go. I thought they were gonna start.
Actually, I think I'm okay with Robert Pattinson not being in like a universe, like in the. I think I'm okay with him just doing like a Batman franchise, and it's the focus is just on him.
Yeah.
Versus like he has to share the spotlight with like a Superman.
Yeah. Well, so Superman is getting a movie as well. It's called Superman Legacy that James Gunn himself wrote and is directing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we just got the news last week. They've casted their Superman.
And you were making fun of me for not knowing this stuff, and they just.
I was making fun of you for not knowing that we're getting a new Superman movie.
Okay.
Because we've known about that for months.
I didn't know. You've known about that for months.
But we did just get our new Superman casting.
I feel like you are E-News for me.
I'm your E-News?
You're my E-News. Like, you remember that from, like, the 2000s?
Yeah. It's still a thing.
I've never actually watched E-News, but you give me all my entertainment news.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That is a Big Screen Bearcon. That's my plug.
Exactly.
I guess that is a compliment. I guess I'm doing my job. But yeah, so we are getting a new Superman movie. Superman has been cast. I am pretty unfamiliar with the actor playing both Superman and Lois Lane. I know the Lois Lane actress, again, their names now. I don't have their names committed to memory.
That's fine. There's too many people on the world.
Rough. It's been a rough day for me. So if you're learning about the Superman news now, like Michael is, just Google who got cast.
Eventually, we could get a producer, like all the other like podcasts have, where it's like I don't know what it's called. We got someone in the background Googling it.
Yeah,
that's their whole
they
job.
Got it, but we don't have. We
Bring
don't
it
have,
up on the
we
screen.
don't have a guy in the chair.
Yeah, we don't have a guy in the chair yet.
We don't have a Ned Leeds.
Yeah,
I know that name. But yeah, so that we just got to cast Superman. I do know the actress who plays Lois Lane was in the marvelous Miss Maisel. That actress is Lois Lane.
Do you know who Superman is? Like, what?
I think his name is Bryan Cons.
Not Bryan Cranston. There's no way Bryan Cranston. Could you imagine Bryan Cranston playing Superman? Like from
here, give me your phone. Give me your phone. I'll do this. I'll do this
Malcolm
right now.
in the Middle to Breaking Bad to Superman.
Let's see who's playing Superman.
All right.
Superman Legacy casting.
Bryan Cranston.
David Cornsweet. I wasn't even close.
David who? Cornsweet?
Cornsweet.
Cornsweet?
Cornsweet.
If that's not the most like Nebraska name I've ever heard in my life.
Corenswet.
My name is David Cornsweet. My pappy was Patrick Cornsweet.
And Rachel Brosnahan. This is playing.
Rachel Brosnahan?
Yes. Brosnahan. I think that's correct.
Yeah, I just combined all the syllables you said.
Let's see. Do I have a picture? Yeah. So here's a picture of what our Superman looks like.
Okay.
On the James Gunn is not Superman, but that's what our Superman looks like.
All right. Is he buff? This is just a face pic. Or is he gonna have like some sort of muscle suit or something?
He's probably gonna hit the gym. Probably not. Wink, wink. Do steroids.
Right.
But do Hollywood steroids. Yeah. So that's our new Superman.
Okay.
It wasn't me. I've tweeted at James Gunn many times. I'm like, hey, let me be the first.
Superman.
Let me be the first Turkish. At least I'm polite about it. I'm like, hey, let me audition to be Superman. I'm not saying like, hey, make me Superman. I'm saying let me audition, but let me try.
I could not picture you, Ezra. I can picture you as because I've seen you.
That hurts.
I've seen you post like the picture side by side of like you and Ezra.
Ezra from Star Wars, for those who don't know.
Yeah, and you could definitely play that role, and you know enough about Star Wars and stuff to be able to do
it. It hurt my soul that I couldn't get an audition.
Sorry, man.
It's fine. I've missed some cool. So for those who also don't know, I am an actor as well as a content creator. I haven't done anything crazy.
You've been in a movie.
I've been in a movie, but it's not like I had lines in the movie.
We talked about it in the last
test episode. Yeah, so go back and listen to the episode if you want.
If we release it.
If we release it. Or it might just be, go watch 12 My Orphans, job done.
Yeah.
But no, so I've had some cool auditions, though. Like, I got close to...
You auditioned for Babylon, didn't you? Sorry.
Let me tell the Babylon story.
All right, tell the Babylon story.
All right, so this is what happened. So my agent calls me. I clock in at work, and I'm like, hey, I'm at work. What's up? He's like, you need to go to Austin tomorrow. I'm like, oh, tomorrow? He's like, yes, tomorrow. I was like, okay. Why? He's like, there's a movie.
Okay, there are movies in Dallas.
There's a movie. I'm like, okay, good start. He's like, starring Brad Pitt. And at the time, he told me it was starring Emma Stone. I don't know if that was legitimate.
Gotcha.
I think that was like the rumor mill was that Emma Stone was leading the film. So he's like, movie starring Brad Pitt and Emma Stone. They want you to be the third lead.
There's a movie starring Brad Pitt and Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Okay.
You had me at Emma Stone.
Yeah.
But he's like, they want you to read for that third lead. And in my head, I immediately start sweating because I was like, I've never had an audition like this in my life. Oh my, okay.
Yeah,
so I
that's a
drop
big one.
everything. I go to my GM and I was like, listen, you gotta, I'm I'm going home. I'm going home. I need to get a haircut. I need to do all this, like this, that, and this.
Yeah.
And then I need to go to Austin. And she was like, okay. I was like, great. So I went. I drove to Austin the next day. Got my haircut. They sent me this very secretive link with like 10 pages of the script, and so I memorized it the entire. I made my at the time girlfriend. A week later, she become my fiance. I made her.
This is a week before you
This
proposed?
is a week before I proposed.
I forget this aspect of it.
Three days before I proposed.
Wow.
So she's driving me to Austin, and I'm like, with the secret link, I didn't realize that once I opened it on my phone, I can only look at the script through my phone. Like, that's it. Like, I had a special, like, passcode and everything that can only be,
It was like a one-time... Wait, what do you mean?
Like, I logged in once,
Uh-huh.
and then I only got one login ever. And, like, it was, like, I can keep
And you
it
can
open.
only use one device. Could you re-log in
No.
using the same device? So
No.
you had to memorize, like, 10 pages?
Off my phone.
And with only logging in once, like without being able to like come back to it.
I can leave it open. Like, it won't, like, automatically shut off. But there was no, like, you couldn't, like, screenshot it. You couldn't do anything.
Wow.
Like, it was very, like, this is it. Like, this is your one way of accessing the script. And it was 10 pages worth. And so I'm like, and it's not like 10 pages worth, like, say a line to me. Like, just say something to me.
Say a line.
No.
All right.
It wasn't like,
Get out of the wheat fields, Mabel. We're going against the grain.
okay. It wasn't like anything like that where I just saying, like, okay, this. Every line I had was, like, multiple sentences, like, monologue-esque. 10 pages of that. And so I'm, like, frantically, like, trying to, like, memorize it. And on top of all this, I'm feeling so ill.
Yeah, I remember. I was living in Austin at the time, and I remember you telling me that you were in town, but you were deathly sick, and you had a very important audition.
Yeah, I was so sick. I was like, and this is the thing, COVID was a thing. Like,
This was during COVID?
This is COVID. Because remember, 3 days later, I got engaged. 4 days later, the world shut down because of COVID.
Okay,
This was March
that's
2020.
That's what I thought. I was like, why would you be leaving your town and me suggest hanging out with you? Like, I couldn't imagine that happening during the lockdown. So
Yeah.
I guess this is like when COVID's brand new.
Yeah, and I was like super sick. So that was also kind of on my mind. I was like, listen, I don't know if I have COVID. I don't think I have COVID. I went to the doctor that day, and they word for word said, have you been to California recently? No. Have you been out of the country recently? No. Okay. We're not testing you for COVID.
Yeah, because COVID tests like were barely a thing at the time. I had
Yeah.
friends who worked in hospitals, and they were telling me the same thing. They were like, we get like 3 tests a day.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough.
Yeah, and I had all this. I was like sweating. I didn't have a fever, but I was coughing like
Yeah.
pretty aggressively. My voice was starting to go away too. Like my throat was hurting, and so I was nervous about having COVID. But no one around me got what I had. So I think I didn't have COVID. Like it was okay, but in the moment I didn't know. All I knew is I had to go to audition. I had to go to Austin. I was sick. I needed to get through this somehow. So I'm like memorizing 10 pages. I go home. I take medication. I get knocked out. I wake up early the next morning. I get to my audition room, right? The casting director's not there, who I'm reading with. And we're waiting for like 40 minutes. She comes in, and it was only like, we only waited like 40 minutes, an hour for her. She comes in, and then she's all frantic because she just got hit by a garbage truck.
What?
Her car was crushed.
Oh my god.
And I was like, are you okay? Like, are we okay? And then she was like, yeah, it's like totally fine. We just have to keep going. I'm like, okay, we got to keep going. we just got to do the audition. Like, she would not stop. She's like, I'm frazzled. It's okay. It's fine. So we go, I read with her, and then they're like, oh, wait, the 10 pages we sent you guys were the wrong 10 pages. That's not the scene.
All the security. Like they jumped through all these hoops, and then they were like, "Oh, actually, we fucked up at the very beginning by picking the 10 pages to send you, and then because they had to set all the security around that, right?"
Yeah. No, it wasn't too bad because I think like it was 3 scenes, and I think 2 of them were correct. One of them wasn't.
Okay.
But
what does correct even mean? Like,
I don't know. It's
what
not
are you
like I
gonna
would
get out of a different scene. Like, I feel like
I don't know, but regardless, we had to learn a different scene.
Okay.
So I was like scrambling in the waiting room, like learning this extra scene, and it was actually relatively easy, so it was fine. The next, I go into the audition room. I walk in. She looks at my resume, and she goes, "You're reading for Manny, right? That's what we called you." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm reading for Manny." She goes, "Are you by chance Latin?" And I was like, "No, I'm Turkish." And she's like, we couldn't tell from your headshot.
we couldn't tell. So they brought you all the way to Austin to ask you if you were Latin, basically.
No, they wanted me to read. Like, I still read.
Okay.
And because here's the thing. The story, like, my story isn't necessarily all that different. It's, my parents both came to the United States they immigrated to the United States, they went to school, they got jobs, they earned their citizenship,
Yeah.
like that aspect of it was similar. Now, granted, I haven't seen Babylon, so I don't know if that story.
Is it out yet?
Yeah, it came out on Christmas. It's
It
been
came
out
out
for
a long time ago. Well, I never saw it either, and you never mentioned it
Well,
to
the
me, so I had
movie-
no idea.
Well, to be fair though, the movie did not do well in the box office. Like
Okay.
it flopped, unfortunately.
That's too
But
bad.
people who did see it, they did enjoy it. Ish to a point. Like some people didn't get it. Like it's a very like specific movie that
It looked like a very
specific group-
artsy movie.
Yeah, very specific group of people enjoyed. But the 10 pages I read when I was auditioning was great. Like this is amazing. So I did it. I still read it. I did it. I still feel like it was the best audition I've ever had in my life.
Nice.
And then of course 2 days later COVID shut down, and then you're just like, it's already bad enough as like a theater kid, as like an actor waiting for like an audition result, waiting for a casting call. It's already bad enough. Now throwing a pandemic on top of it, and you don't know how long you're just gonna be sitting there waiting to hear something, like even just a rejection.
Yeah.
But normally they don't even tell you if you didn't get it. So anyway, I did not get it.
Tragic.
But it was cool. It was cool. I'm mostly sad because Tobey Maguire was cast in the movie, and what did we just talk about?
Yes.
That's mostly why I feel so heartsick about not getting.
Because you could have been in the same room in the same movie as Spider-Man.
It's not even as.
I'm sorry. Wrong man.
It's not even like the same room. It's like I would have like worked closely with him. Like we
Yeah.
would have been colleagues.
Yeah. But you did get to meet Uncle Ben, as we talked about on the test episode.
Yes,
Like, you
when
got
I
to
did
meet
12 My
Martin
Orphans,
Sheen.
I did meet Martin Sheen, and I'm happy to say that
And
Martin
you spent a
Sheen-
lot of time with him. You spent a
Martin
lot
Sheen's
with him.
probably one of the nicest humans I've ever met in my entire life. Like he like came up to me, like we played catch with like the football in the yard. We talked a lot. He asked me about my day. He
That's
came.
so stereotypical where it's like you meet your hero and he's like, want to play catch? That's literally like every child's dream.
I was
It's
like, yes, I do. But with Martin, he was very like, he's like, you can throw it to me, but I'm gonna underhand toss it to you, because he's like, he's older, he didn't want to like.
So he can catch, but he can't throw.
It was a very like light game of catch. You
Okay.
know, it was very like, it wasn't like he went out 20 yards or whatever and I threw it to him. It was like very like, we were probably this close.
What?
Just chatting, just like tossing
Might
the
as well-
football back and
here's
forth.
the ball.
Here,
And,
here you go.
thanks for
Thank you
handing
very
it
much.
out. All
Thank
right,
you. Have a
you're
great
welcome.
day. Like good one. Nice. Nice catch. Got some real distance on that one.
How old is he?
70s,
Okay.
I think. But the movie was a big deal because it was the first time Martin Sheen and Robert Duvall worked together.
This is 12 Mighty Orphans?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a long time. And they had like one quick scene. It was like an Easter egg almost. It was pretty cool.
Cool.
I wish I was there for that day, but I was not.
I'm going to pivot a little bit, if that's
Okay,
okay with
pivot.
you. Have you been on Threads at all?
I have been on Threads.
What do you think?
Do you want my like Berkan opinion or you want my social media coordinator opinion?
I want your BearCon opinion.
I'm still getting used to kind of going on there.
Mhm.
And I don't necessarily like that if I post something, it's not necessarily going to be seen because you can't do like hashtags or anything. Sorry, the Berkan opinion is also kind of the social media coordinator. I
What,
can't turn
so
it off.
You went through all this.
I'm like as I'm saying this, I'm like that sounds like a social media coordinator telling
Yeah.
you their professional.
I felt like I was outing you.
the
for a
memes are
second.
funny. The memes are funny. I like the funny jokes. I think people are leaning more into humor on Threads
Okay.
versus like Twitter's more like also like humor memes, but there's also like a lot of news aspect of it.
Yeah.
And Threads doesn't have that because there's no like.
I feel like a lot of people are also upset on Twitter more often. And this is just
Threads seems like it's a good vibe.
right now it's a good vibe.
The thing about Threads that's making a good vibe, it's all the people who you follow on Instagram
Mhm.
and all the people who follow you already.
And I feel like I'm seeing more stuff and this I've heard different things from other people, but right now I'm seeing more stuff from people I actually follow versus like on Twitter it was like a lot of tweets that had like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets. It was only like the really popular stuff really that I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But on Threads I'm seeing a lot more of like people I actually know threading, which is cool. Like people who don't even post on like Instagram or something and people who haven't tweeted in years, I'm seeing them like make new threads and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I kind of forgot you existed." And we were friends at one point, so it's like I'm actually really glad to be like seeing that these people are still alive, like a sign of life almost, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that vibe more. It does feel more personal. It feels like earlier days of Twitter cuz I remember when Twitter was very like communal as well versus now it's more worldwide. At the time Twitter felt like you and your community kind of like sharing your thoughts with each other. And right now in my experience this is what Thread kind of feels like. But it's still early days. The entire vibe of the platform could shift in the coming weeks. You know?
Totally. It totally could. We'll see. I mean, it's still new. Twitter's threatening to sue.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that.
Because they essentially copied and pasted and took out some other aspects.
Yeah, they took out like direct messaging. Like you can't.
And again, no hashtags. Hashtags are
hashtags.
meaningless. There's not really a way to manipulate your interest. You're just kind of at the mercy of the recommended page. You don't even have like a following tab to like see your followers post.
Oh, that's true. But for me, when I like refresh my homepage, the first thing I see are the people I'm following, and then after that, it's like recommended posts by people I'm not following, by like that have like a lot of like rethreads and stuff. It's not too difficult for me to see content from people I know. I'm not on it for very long at a time. I'm on it for a couple minutes. I couldn't spend like an hour scrolling through threads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Do you know what Facebook memories remind me of?
What?
Like a couple days ago.
What they
Our trip to New York together.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
one? The second one?
The second one. The second one. So Michael and I had a theory. This is when we were like, what, 19?
It wasn't just a theory. It was based in facts.
Basically.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Michael and I had a theory.
Statistically, it was accurate. Statistically, it worked.
So I had a problem growing up. Like in high school, like I had a problem in college when I'd say, I feel like, and then the exact opposite would happen.
Berkan would say, I feel like, and then like predict the future, basically.
I feel like it's not going to rain today. And then like instant lightning crack, it starts storming.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie's gonna suck. Oh, it's a great movie, whatever. And that's a little bit more.
You just
vague.
you would sort of just do it unconsciously. You just be like,
I feel like
I don't feel like that's gonna happen.
I feel like we're gonna win this game in Fortnite. Nope, that doesn't happen. And then I kind of caught on to that though.
The exact opposite would happen every time you said I feel like. The exact opposite would happen.
Yeah, and I caught on to that, and I was like,
Because I would point it out to you.
Yeah, every time.
Because I would love to call you out. I would love to be like, you're so wrong.
And so like I was like, and so we're walking around New York, right? And then Michael, he was trying. We were like what, 19, 20?
We were 20.
We were 20.
So we were almost 21.
We were so close, and Michael's like, I really want to just get like a drink. I want to see like it's New York, it's the Big Apple.
It's New York.
It's New York.
What am I gonna not drink?
What are you talking about? And so Michael would try, and so like you tried at like Mean Girls.
Yeah, we would go to Broadway shows and I'd try to order a drink.
It wouldn't let you.
Yeah.
Tried at restaurants, didn't let you.
Yeah.
And then so after we saw SpongeBob the musical on Broadway.
Yeah.
The Broadway musical, great musical. We were sitting in a pub, and the pub was empty.
And because it was the pub too that they had recommended at the SpongeBob musical, because we were reading the program.
Yeah.
In the back of the program,
SpongeBob
it was like
told us to go there.
The cast of SpongeBob really liked this pub, and we were like, "Oh, that's like a couple blocks from here.
Yeah, so we
should
went. It
go
was
there
empty.
after the show."
It was empty, and so Michael, like, you gave up. You're like, I'm just gonna order water, whatever.
Yeah, because I tried like literally like the
Every place
past previous day, like few days we'd been there, everywhere we'd gone, I tried to just order a drink, and nowhere was biting, and I was like, I don't want to embarrass myself again.
Yeah.
So I didn't order anything, and then
So I was like, I'm ordering mac and cheese, and I'm like, can I get the mac and cheese? And then she's like, yeah. And then in the moment, I'm like, how funny would it be if like I tried ordering a drink? Because she asked me.
But this is before you ordered. You said like,
well, no, this is what happened. She like left, and she's like, let me go. Like, I'll be right
okay,
back.
okay.
And then in between, I was like, hey, Michael, I feel like if I try to order alcohol, she's not gonna let. She's gonna say no. I feel like I'm gonna get carded. And then instantly she comes back. I'm making like dead like eye contact with Michael, and I go, what drinks do you like here? And she's like, oh, you can never go wrong with a Jack and Coke. Really? I'll take one of those with my mac and cheese. She's like, okay. She walked by, and I was like, oh, wait, he'll take one as well. Marcus, it worked.
Can I go? As she's walking away.
In my mind, I'm like, this is the coolest moment.
You abused, like, the universe, like, cursed you. And you were like, actually, I can make this a gift.
That was my middle finger.
I can switch the
I
switch
flipped
the
off
script.
the universe. I was like, no, wait just a second here.
Yeah. You're saying anything I say will be wrong? I wish I didn't have $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. With that being said, I feel like this podcast is gonna flop.
All right. Should we wrap this up?
I feel like this is a good time to wrap things up.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Starlog.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Obviously, we're still getting our footing here. We're trying things out.
Yeah. My name's Michael Lee.
I'm Berkan Dincer.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll be better than ever as we keep going.
Continuously growing.
Yeah. All right. Bye.